We do a great deal of deportation and detention work, which of course is the center focus of today's lecture. However, we also handle all other types of immigration cases, and I'm going to be touching later upon, in the context of detention, where some of those types of applications do come up. I'm going to start by saying that this, again, is a hot topic, so to speak, because there is so much detention. Under the current presidential administration, there's been approximately 1 million deportations, and a great deal of the folks who are facing deportation these days are detained. Here in the greater New York area, the large number of folks who are detained in the state of New Jersey, right near where my offices are in Newark. It's just the way the geography works out. New York and Connecticut do not, at least in the greater New York area, have detention facilities, so to speak, where immigrants are typically being held for the most part, although there are some exceptions. With that said, I'll introduce the topic by letting you know that we're calling this From Pickup to Release, ICE detention. And if you're not familiar with what ICE is, that's the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, the so-called police or law enforcement arm of immigration. So as a practitioner, what we start with typically is a phone call from a loved one, a spouse, a parent, a significant other. And we always get this in an emergent fashion. We get a call and the person says, my spouse, my parent is currently detained by immigration and they're being held. Sometimes they don't even know where. And the first thing we tend to focus on when we look at these cases is what is the reason that immigration has chosen to detain this individual. So what I've done here is I've called one type of detention criminal detention and another type non-criminal. Immigration will not do that. You will not receive any documents as an immigration lawyer that actually will say criminal detention or non-criminal detention, but we're just going to, for the purposes of this presentation, talk in that context. So once we get into that, which we will in a moment, we also are going to look at bond, which is just what immigration calls bail. There's no difference. You may have your client hire a bail bond agent to help pay the bond if there's one available. But just so you know, here in the immigration world, we call bail bond. That's all you need to know. And finally, we're going to talk about how detention will impact your client's chances of winning a removal case. And I should stop for one more moment and also remind you that removal and detention and deportation all kind of come together as one thing, so to speak, because when we say removal, we've been calling deportation removal since 1997. Those are also the same thing. Just like bail and bond are the same thing for the purposes of this discussion. When I say removal or I say deportation, you don't need to worry what the difference is. Just know, for the purposes of this discussion, for the last 14 years under the immigration law, the word removal means deportation. That's all you need to know.